Hello, Gareth here, and in this video I'm going to talk about outdoor watercolour painting. So I've written a really detailed guide on this subject, and there will be a link at the bottom. So if you want a lot of detailed information, then please click on the link below. In this video though, it's going to be a lot simpler, basically because I can't remember and do the video at the same time. So this is going to be a really simple and rough explanation of the detailed guide, and it's also going to be a series. So the first part of the series is about the benefits of outdoor watercolor painting. So you might be thinking, if you are beginning watercolor painting, or even if you've done it for a while, that going outside and painting is maybe something you don't need to do, and there's no real point to doing that. And I want to say here that it's really beneficial to go outdoors and paint, and it's not some old-fashioned or cliched thing, the artist outside with his easel painting, although you don't need to use an easel yet. So I've listed 7 big benefits of painting outdoors, and the first benefit is improvement. So it makes sense, if you are going to paint a sea scene, to actually go outside and look at the sea. And of course, if you are there and you can paint the sea directly, it's just going to be totally different from being in your room and painting the sea. And a photograph just can't compare to the real thing. So the actual experience is obviously going to improve your work immensely. As a form of sensory information, being outdoors is just so much better. So I think I've covered that point. So the second one is your paintings that you'll do outside. At first you'll fail a lot, but gradually you'll start to produce these little golden eggs, as I call them, these really lovely paintings, bit by bit, and they'll just have something, some quality, I say magical quality, that your studio paintings will not have. And one artist, when looking at my work, even said that she could tell which paintings I'd done outside and which I had done inside. There really does seem to be a difference, and so painting outdoors will lead to these really lovely paintings that you probably wouldn't have achieved in the studio. They just have that magical quality. And then the third thing is enjoyment, healing, and connection to nature. So it is just so, well, okay, let me back up there. Sometimes when you go outdoors and paint, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be too hot or too cold. You're going to get sunburnt, you're going to get bitten by mosquitoes. So that's the non-benefit, right? But of course you need to think about these things. You need to go on a nice day, and you need to take sometimes, I don't know, mosquito repellent, or although I've never had a big problem with that, to be honest. But most of the time, if you pick a fairly nice day, you're going to have a wonderful time. You're really going to enjoy it, and just the sun on your face, the wind in your hair, it is amazing. And you are going to feel this connection to nature, and at times it can almost feel like a spiritual experience, a spiritual high. It is really wonderful, and a big benefit of painting outdoors. So the fourth benefit is adventure and amazing experiences. So it really is an adventure. So I used to cycle by my river into the countryside, and it was a really, really great adventure. Nowadays I normally get in the car and drive off into the blue yonder. Sometimes I have an idea where I'm going and sometimes I don't, but I travel into these beautiful picturesque areas in Japan, places where there's beautiful mountain rivers or volcanoes, and just once you get out there in nature, it's wonderful. It's just absolutely wonderful. And you know, climbing mountains and stuff like that, it's adventurous, it's fun, and you do have these amazing experiences. For example, one time I was actually a bit depressed at the time. Actually, I'd just done an exhibition and I hadn't sold one painting, and after the exhibition I just drove off into this national park. It was a cloudy, rainy day which just matched my feelings perfectly, and then suddenly the sun came out and it was like hallelujah. It was just beautiful. Everything went from grey to like gold and white. It was amazing, and obviously I jumped out the car, took quite a few photographs, and that led to this really, really beautiful painting. Although I have to say I did do that in the studio, and it took a lot of practice before I really produced that image that kind of represented that moment, that fantastic moment. But of course, if I hadn't been outdoors, then I never would have seen that. So just that experience and that direct connection with nature is so important for you as an artist. You know, it really, really is. I mean, some people talk about the inner artist and you're like, oh, give me a break. But this is real, you know, like it really develops the living creative spirit within you, and that's something I do believe in. I don't believe that's a wishy-washy idea. And number five is inspiration. So in a way, what I've just said obviously is like the same thing. You'll have these inspiring experiences, but it's not just the weather, it's also as you're driving along in the car, you're going to see lots of different scenes. This is something that's not going to happen when you're at home, and it's all real and live and happening, and that really does inspire you. So there's many times when I've driven along a road and I was going to a place called Yufuin, a beautiful tourist town, but I stopped on the way because I just saw these beautiful Japanese haystacks, and they were just so beautiful. I had to stop and paint them, and it led to this really, really beautiful painting. Now at home in the studio, I just wouldn't have thought of, oh, beautiful Japanese haystacks, let's paint them. They're a different shape to the ones in England, and I just never knew about them. So obviously you learn a lot, and that learning leads to inspiration. So it really, really is important to get out there and to see all these wonderful sights that you get outside, outdoors. So number 6 is resources. And that makes sense, doesn't it? You're outside, you're seeing all these wonderful sights, it's leading to wonderful creative ideas. These are all resources. Now, one of the big problems I've had, so that's a benefit, yeah? But now I'm going to go to a little bit of a detail, a note, an extra point, which is one of the difficult things you'll find as an artist is how to keep a record of all these ideas that you will get when you go outdoors. And I think one of the best ways to do this is Instagram. So why do I say that? Because what you can do is basically just take a photograph instantly within the Instagram app, and then using the voice thing, because I basically can't type quickly, you can just add what your thinking was about that scene. Like, I like this particular building because the style or the angle or whatever it is. or it could be because of the weather, or it led to this idea or something like that. You can add that as a comment or whatever, and then just publish that. And the reason why that is good is that doesn't fill up the memory on your own cell phone, and it doesn't mean that you've got all piles and piles of notes and paper and stuff like that in your own room. And the other good point is that it's super safe. It's just like Facebook. For example, I tried to delete completely my Facebook account and I couldn't. It's very difficult to do that properly, and I was really happy that I didn't manage to do that, because when I logged back on a few months later, I could find like the history of all my painting trips for about 7 years. And if I just looked at my normal paper notes, it's a complete mess. I've got no idea when I did this, when I did that, and it's all jumbled up. And so I just wanted to let you know about the importance of Instagram. I recommend Instagram rather than Facebook, because Instagram is, like it suggests, instant. You can do it straight away. You just open up with the Instagram app, take your photo, make a comment, that's it. It's so quick, and it will just keep all your information. Thank you, Instagram. So, you know, that's one way in which we can, you know, use social media rather than social media using us. So I hope that was a useful point, and I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, so the final point, I overdid that one a bit, sorry about that, but I hope it's beneficial. So the final point, number 7, is, just a minute, satisfaction. And already the other points I've covered, you can see all this is going to be very, very satisfying, like out in nature, sun on your face, wind in your hair, being inspired, having these challenges and adventures. That's all going to lead to a feeling that you actually did something. When I come back from an outdoor watercolor painting trip, I really feel like I did something. But there's an even greater satisfaction than that, which is you're going to be really challenged. You know, it really is quite a challenge, and that's one thing that will improve you as an artist. There will be so many challenges when you go outdoors and paint, like how to find a good scene and what's the best viewpoint, and not getting distracted by people passing you, not getting distracted by them or the weather, and so on and so on. And a lot of your paintings at first are going to be failures, but little by little you will produce these lovely paintings that you are so happy with, and the feeling of overcoming all these challenges and actually eventually making a beautiful painting are going to lead to this wonderful high, enormous satisfaction. So I strongly recommend that you do outdoor watercolor painting. That feeling of satisfaction, it almost feels like you did something heroic, and the truth is you did. So that's it. I'm wrapping up now. I'm getting too excited, but I'm wrapping up now. So those are the 7 benefits of outdoor watercolor painting. So I would really appreciate it if you can think of something else that I missed, and I would also really appreciate it if you hit the like button, because it would really help to share this video. Oops, there we go. I knew I would make a mistake. I made a few, if you noticed, but I knew I'd make a big one. But there you go, I knocked the camera. But I'd really appreciate it if you clicked on the like button, and also any comments, constructive comments please, anything else that I haven't covered. And so series 2 will be coming soon, and because when I look at the camera my mind goes blank, I can't remember what that was, but I will include it in the link. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks, and I hope this was useful.